Bill Burr, the base socialism take. I gotta say, even I know Bill is like, he's pretty base. Like he even brought it to Joe Rogan when Joe was going anti-vax and all this shit. And you're so right, because the most hacky thing I hear comedians doing, and they all do it. It's like time to move on, get some new material. Is like cancel culture. You can't say this. Everyone's trying to and I'm like, dude. Even if I agreed with what you're saying, it's so hacky. You all been telling the same joke for 10 years.
Yeah. Like, no, that's the thing is like the dismissal of cancel culture is a universal value pretty much, where like nobody likes it and everybody does it, right? Republicans do it all the time. Your boy, me, I've been canceled a million times over. Ethan's been canceled a million times over by the right.
Absolutely.
I've talked about this so fucking much. And it's just so whack to constantly complain about it. Constantly fucking complain about it. He is, Bill Burr is actually, kind of destroyed Bill Maher on it too. On like cancel culture shit, where he went on Bill Maher's show and openly told him like, oh, what, you're not going to get what you want out of me in this conversation.
Dude,
like, who cares?
He is pretty incredible, even though he completely mentally, even though he basically brought my life crumbling down next to me, I still love him still, and he is one of a kind. Here he is on Joe Rogan just to set us up. When Joe was like,
he fucking had that kind of impact on you? That's crazy.
Bro. I wouldn't say more. It's complicated. I think there was a lot going on in my life at the time.
Walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, Joe.
Do you, though?
This motherfucker, it's so hard to get over. Joe Rogan he doesn't want people to walk around with masks outside. Like, why does that bother you? But okay.
Okay.
Let's start it.
I don't want to start this bullshit. I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up better than the CDC.
Walk down the street with a mask.
Oh, he goes in on him. But
yeah,
okay.
But it's so true. The thing that I really love about Bill Burr is that, look, comedians dance on this like very fine line of doing cultural critique.
Mm-hmm.
And also just making jokes. You know what I mean? Like making light of serious subjects. And for that reason, I think you need to have a really deep understanding of the subject matter that you're covering. That's why Dave Chappelle is brilliant and still the number one comedian when it comes to talking about his own experiences, white supremacy, black culture, these sorts of things. But then definitely misses the mark when talking about trans issues, because he just does not have an understanding, does not care, and is just basically doing the hackiest material possible that you
what
could
are you
hear.
talking about, bro?
Yeah, he's just basically doing the hackiest material possible, which is pointing at trans people and going, "That's weird, right? Lol. Come on, laugh with me. That's weird." Like, if your material about trans people in your $20 million special is identical to like, a Reddit comment, that's crazy. You're not the greatest comedian of all time. What the fuck?
Well, he's stuck in the cancel culture thing. It's like you got to move past that, bro.
And the same goes for cancel culture as well, where it's like, yeah, everyone's annoyed by it. There's a lot of hypocrisy in it because plenty of people who are doing the cancellation have plenty to be canceled over themselves because human beings are imperfect.
Right.
But Bill's made some jokes about it, but ultimately, I think the reason why I love him is because he has a way to describe very complex issues like American imperialism or, the contradictions that you experience under capitalism in the most like sports guy Bostonian way you possibly could, in that kind of demeanor, where he's just like very short. He's just like, yeah, this fucking sucks. This is stupid.
That's good. That's a good impression.
Yeah, you like that? Monday morning podcast on Monday. I love Bill.
Let's check this out.
Socialism. Hi, Bill, you redheaded fuck. I really appreciate the bluntness of that. How are you? Last week you mentioned you don't know why people demonize socialism. I was really taken aback at that statement. Oh, Jesus Christ. Every country that has tried socialism has failed, and it's responsible for tens of millions of deaths. All right, so would you say capitalism is working?
I love that.
And it is not, when like, what is it, like 99% of the wealth is in like fucking 2% of the people's hands? All of these tent cities, you're telling me this is working? You don't think capitalism is responsible for tens of millions of deaths?
It's so funny.
Anyway,
That is
Russia,
straight
Germany,
up.
China, Cuba.
It's so
Everything
funny.
that he just said, I have said a million times over. It is crazy to me that he's just like, what an incredible thing to hear from a dude from fucking Boston. Okay, an old white guy from Boston. Come on, dude.
There's another joke that reminds me. He did the same thing during the church scandal. Like, they brought him on some morning show. They're like, do you really think it's appropriate to be making these jokes you are about the church? They like kind of blindsided him. He's like, you think it was appropriate what they did?
Yeah.
You should learn about what they did.
He's smart.
Yeah, he's
and
good.
yeah, I'm saying it. Fuck it. He's in his George Carlin era. All right. I'll say it.
That's
I think
big.
he's spitting his George Carlin shit.
He's not. Needs to. I hope he goes further with it. But yeah.
And most recently, Venezuela have tried, or right now, are socialist countries. As far as I know, whatever Cuba was trying to do, we prevented them from doing with a fucking embargo or whatever the hell we did. We've been fucking with them for 60 years.
When I heard this, I
think you're
lost my
looking at,
fucking
like,
shit.
You know, like what a lot of people do is you look at your own country through
Pause for a
rose-colored
second.
glasses, the same way you
So
look at your own
close to
sports
done.
team. Like, oh, my team doesn't cheat,
Come on, let me-
but your
It's
team
so
does.
close to done. It's so close.
Okay, look, all I'm saying is what he just dropped about Cuba is 100% accurate, okay? This embargo is completely unjustifiable. It is completely inhumane. It is collective punishment on the Cuban people that did not deserve it. And the only reason why it happened was because we funded the Batista regime, which was a dictatorship that was incredibly brutal, far worse than the Cuban Revolution, infinitely worse than the Cuban Revolution. And when they lost, we immediately were like, all right, fuck this. You guys are communists now. Boom. Embargo. Blockade. Unacceptable. Okay? It is a human rights violation that other countries are too pussy to fucking call out. That's number one. Number two, Bill Burr's assessment. His analysis here is not only 100% correct, but it also goes against the grain. 99.9% of commentators in the mainstream, in the political ecosystem, will never say what he's saying here, which is incredible to me. It's true, and yet most of the people who are the politics understanders of the world that go on MSNBC and whatever will never bring that up. You'll never hear it because it goes against our propaganda. And he goes further into it. He even talks about manufacturing consent. It's brilliant.
It is very surprising. I love it. I hope more of this, Bill. More. We love it. We love to see a woke king, Bostonian king, bringing it to the people. And he stands in such stark contrast to literally all of his comedian friends who still will not shut the fuck up about cancel culture, as you correctly noted. We love you, Bill.